till we die. This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressed in all black. Every single last one of them got my back. 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. A first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now the throw pulled in by Anderson. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up. Will, he's coming, double up, double up.
This is Barkley. A nice little juke. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. 10 more there and another first down. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Saquon Barkley. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go. 10 logo. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Go.
Running to start the drive is Love. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd and 3. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Check 3, check 3, check 3. Check 9, check 9. Yep. Motion. Reset.
On 2nd down, Love. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Ready? 8, read. Shoot. Y'all not ready. 5.
He'll drop to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
They'll run for it with Love. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And that will force a turnover on downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's go. Come on. Hustle. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Back.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone and nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Hatchet. Check.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to air one out. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. It had been a near-perfect beginning to this football game. Already a double-digit lead first quarter, but their first misstep.
And you know how it is, partner. Sometimes when everything's going right, you start to feel like you can do just about anything you want on the field. This one didn't work out. If I were him, I'd go to my defensive captain and say, pick me up, my man. Help me out.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Ready? 60 on
the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 25-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks. But it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass, a run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. Order. 57's Mike 57. Man, that's trash.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. This is caught. And a big gain that time. He's out of bounds on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Jabril Peppers, a former first-round pick there on the coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Hey, check. Mike 50. Get that quarterback at all costs. 50's the Mike. 50's the Mike.
Back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities. You get over anxious, and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
70, Indy. Cut.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Got an open man. It's Washington. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on third down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. With that run, double-check my math, yes, he has hit 8,000 career rushing yards.
And that's fantastic. That means he's now approaching the top 50 all-time rushers in NFL history. That means he just sped past Terrell Davis, who's in the Hall of Fame. And now he's just got to go ahead and be strong and run hard because he's chasing down Larry Zonka.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one goes for 30 yards.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. Eluding the pressure right. They'll find Miller. That's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. It's a gain of 34. And that's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
You know, the NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say,
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? It's a gain of 35. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Gordon. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and this shows on the scoreboard.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
From the gun on 3rd down. Gordon over the middle, complete. It's Love. A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the first. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 7 at the Bucs' 39-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 25-yard line. This quarterback now 4 of 5 since coming on. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Gordon. Being chased out left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now a give running right is Love. Down to about the 22 here. 9 yards on the gain there, and it's going to bring up a tough 3rd and 7.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. And the kick by Rosas is good. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
This fielded at the 2. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
He'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Devin White, the rookie out of LSU, there to bat that one away. So coming up empty here to start the third quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Let's go, D.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10. And I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo.
Back to throw here. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 39. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
On first down, here's Love. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and just like that, it's third down.
Ready. 58 to Mike. Bravo. Hey, 58 is the Mike. Go 58 is the Mike. Target. 50 edge. Come. Tight dog. Snap.
On third down, here's Love. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a fourth down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And Rosas puts this one through. And a second field goal here gets him back within 11 now. It's 17-6. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think, at any moment, I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Looking to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 34. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. And the Buccaneer defense for the 2nd straight play, flexing its muscle by forcing a loss. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. They'll drop the throw. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal. Rosas' kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So it's a 3rd field goal for him now. He's accounted for all 9 points. I look down to the sideline, though. You can just tell they weren't too happy for 3. They wanted 6.
No, they have to have 6. Look, he's keeping them afloat. but they really need to do exactly what you talked about. They need to get into the end zone and score some touchdowns. Otherwise, he's going to have to kick a lot more field goals than just the 3s already put through the posts.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. On the run, it's Barkley. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Tighten up. Pull it together. 57's Mike. Mike 57. 3 buzz. Hey, check Mike. Mike 57.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
57.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man is Anderson. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
10 yards there and a Buccaneer 1st down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They run with Barkley on 1st down, and he gets about 5 out of it. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Not today, you are. Not today.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd down now, Barkley, and he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout. Here's we've got an injured Buccaneer. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here.
Mike 50. Silver.
They'll set up to throw. Going up top for Miller. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Scott Miller, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. The Giants on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd down and 12. Now back to throw. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Complete to Washington. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
On first down, Love. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here?
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
On the ready. Right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there. Check pass.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 39. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They'll look to throw now on first down. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Coming to you.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's Devin White, the linebacker, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
50, plant. Hey, Charlie. Get it.
They'll look to throw here. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off at the 22. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
The holding penalty negates a good return as they'll start just past the 20. Now a handoff here to his running back. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Second and 9 now. Flushed out right, and that's off the mark, incomplete. The Bucs on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. He'll look to throw. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 36. And he will score. Touchdown, Giants. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
You got nothing. And we go 37's the Mike. Mike 37. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip.
They'll keep it on the ground. Akers. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. On 2nd down, Overton. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 10 yards is the pickup there, and that should just about put a bow on this one.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
So time has run out on what will be a Tampa